Oh no! Guys!
Oh.
A mysterious masked figure is swinging down from the chandelier!
Oh,
Is
I
it
wish I had
Zorro?
some bullets.
Oh no! Oh, shoot! I'm being chloroformed!
What?
Stop being chloroformed.
What is chloroformed? He was chloroformed. I wish I knew what that
He
was.
fell to the ground in a heap.
Oh.
Greetings, fellows!
Oh.
It is I, the mysterious phantom good news!
You're leaving?
Hello, Menzel. Hello, Bradley. How are you, my friend, old chum Bradley?
It's
My old chum Bradley.
Yeah.
Hurrah!
Hurrah.
3 cheers for me. Hip hip.
What?
I've got some good news, Bradley.
You're leaving?
No, I've been evicted from my apartment.
Oh, that might be good news.
The neighbors called the police because I was skulking around in a mask and a cape
You don't say.
multiple times. And so the lord of the land, the landlord, as I call him,
Yeah.
he evicted me.
Most people call him that.
I was thinking I could stay with you, Bradley.
Really?
That's the good news.
Oh, that's not great news.
Wonderful news.
It's news. I do believe that Jake has rooms in his house that aren't being occupied.
No.
Look, Bradley,
I've got 5 kids.
we both understand that the Reverend Menzel, in his duties as a clergyman,
Yeah?
he might have to take me in, but the true bonds of friendship.
They what? What do they mean? Do I have to continue? I'm not following.
Well, between us, for example.
The what between us?
The Reverend Menzel doesn't understand.
Why would he?
Oh no, I completely understand. I've seen from day one the true bonds of affection between you and Bradley.
Oh, well, thanks, Jake. Thanks.
Tip-top
it's really
terrific.
clear.
So you think I should go and stay with Bradley?
Well, I wasn't going to at the beginning. I wasn't, but then I got to thinking about it after some things that maybe Bradley said. That now it seems to me that you'd be a great fit in that household.
We do have a place, but it's outside. It's next to the dog.
Fantastic. So you will put one of your children there, perhaps, and I can take their room.
The dog's friendly. Maybe not to you.
It'd be a risk you might have to take.
I think that laying outside in the cold weather, listening to sleet fall on my shingled roof, thinking of some other home, will probably do you some good. We're friends, right?
Only the best.
Good. There is one room. Have you? How many of our episodes have you listened to?
Almost none of them.
Good. It's a room. It's been mentioned before.
In a room.
Oh, in a room. Just any room?
The torture chamber.
The torture chamber.
Son Elliot talks about it in one of the.
Oh, we'll make your home there for sure.
Fellows, I didn't come here to discuss my eviction. What I came here to discuss, as you know, Menzel, I'm a gentleman of taste and refinement.
Uh-huh.
You know where a gentleman of taste and refinement gets his education from?
Uh-huh.
The Google Doodle!
Oh.
The Google Doodle, fellows!
The Google Doodle.
The Google Doodle!
Right.
Where I get all my education from. And today, on the very day of this recording, there is in fact a Google Doodle. And I saw that it was, let me just pull it up here.
Virginia Woolf?
When I first got it in my head, decided to come on the Bookening again for my 3rd triumphant appearance, it was because I saw the Google Doodle, had the great Virginia Woolf. I read all about her, and I thought she might be a fellow that you fellows would enjoy. I don't know what she is exactly.
Yeah, nobody really does.
She a wolf?
She is, kind of a wolf.
Is she in fact a scary bitey canine from the Commonwealth of Virginia?
A Virginia wolf. That's pretty close, actually, yeah.
I don't know a lot about her besides what I read in this article, which I wanted to share with you fellows. She knew, according to this article about the Google Doodle,
Yeah?
she knew the enormous potential of a closed door.
She knew about the enormous potential of a closed door.
That's what it says right here.
Yeah.
Virginia
I'm thinking
Woolf.
about a closed door right now.
She knew the enormous potential of a closed door. The literary icon, the subject of today's Google Doodle, was a master of elevating domesticity through dizzying, non-linear novels.
I've read some of her novels, and it would be great if you could describe them that way.
Dizzying and non-linear.
Yeah.
You don't think they're dizzying or non-linear?
I don't think they're dizzying. Well, maybe they're dizzying. If you mean by dizzying, nauseating.
Her most literal work, according to here, a slim volume of essays published in 1928 through which she's often memorialized in mainstream culture. This volume of essays, Bradley, you know the title, of course.
A Room of
One's Own, yes, sir. The English writer, born 136 years ago to this day, the day we're recording this, argued for what is simultaneously obvious, Menzel, and beyond reach today. This is what Google says.
Obvious and beyond reach, yes.
For a woman to truly think and create, she has to be unshackled from the duties normally foisted on her because of her gender. She needs paper, Menzel.
Oh, okay,
Toilet
yeah,
paper.
well, check.
Woolf put the price of writing at an annual £500, about $41,000 today.
what?
And a, quote, lock on the door. She famously summed up her case, quote, a woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction.
Let me get this straight. She thinks women's liberation would be locking a woman in a room with some money and paper.
I think the woman locks herself in the room. No, that would be the yellow wallpaper. No, she locks herself in the room.
Okay.
And she has paper, and she has £500, which comes to apparently $41,000. The means to afford a private study in one's home allows a person to think and write away from prying eyes, fearlessly and calmly. In essence, said Woolf, like a man can.
Ah,
Oh.
Because you fellows understand that men, they can write away from prying eyes, but women, never. Always the eyes pry into women.
I think she might be confusing trust fund babies who have a lot of money and free time on their hands with men who actually have to work to support themselves and their families and then find time to write. And
That's-
hopefully then one day make a career out of it.
Bradley,
Yeah.
as you know, what you just said was pure idiocy.
Was it? How so?
Every man who's ever written,
Yeah.
who's ever made any sort of artistic endeavor, has had oodles of cash
Yeah.
and a room of his own. That's why we have the cliche of the well-fed artist.
yep.
That's right.
That's why we have it.
That's why we have it. The
The people-
well-fed man artist.
The well-fed man artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for women to be given a room of their own, as this article continues. In Woolf's mind, the lack of experience and constant struggle from an inferior position in society had consequences for women's fiction. Ultimately, it was money, said Woolf, that allows women to be taken seriously as writers. Money, she said, dignifies what is frivolous if unpaid for.
You know who I don't take seriously? Virginia Woolf.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I do take seriously? Jane Austen. We were just talking about her.
What were you fellas reading today?
Mansfield Park.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Ah, is that because you're a moron?
Possible.
Pig?
Some honesty.
I wouldn't say moron. I have read a lot of articles about a lot of Google Doodles in my time. Mansfield Park has not come under my purview, nor has this James Austen that you speak of.
Jane.
Jane Austen.
It's a girl.
That's a weird name for a man.
No, she's a girl.
Well, women didn't write before Virginia Woolf. I don't
No, they
think.
did.
They didn't have money.
No, we could go through
One of the best, if not the best novelists of all time was
Yeah.
a
Was this
woman.
James Austen?
A woman,
Jane Austen.
Jane Austen.
James Austen.
I mean, we could go further.
You mean he acted like a woman, or he wrote
was a woman.
from his point of view?
It was a
She
woman.
wrote. She didn't have a room of her own. She wrote with her nieces and nephews and whoever else around, and
Let me see if I
she
can
wasn't
get this straight.
rich
The
or-
great Virginia Woolf has established for us that in order for a woman to write anything at all, really, in order certainly anything of quality, she must have
pretty
lots
sure-
of money and a room of her
I'm
own.
pretty sure Virginia Woolf was just making excuses for the fact that she was never smart enough to do anything as great as Jane Austen.
But she really thought she should have been. She's the exact sort of person you see all the time. They're always going to write a novel. They're always going to be a poet. But what they really need is just the time, and it's just really
And the
frustrating
money
because it's
and
hard
the-
work.
The privilege, They don't have the privilege. Meanwhile, actual geniuses get up and go to work and make awesome art like Jane Austen.
And sometimes they do it while actually doing other jobs.
Yeah.
T.S. Eliot did. He was a teacher full-time while he was writing The Wasteland. He didn't have $40,000 a year. He was also an editor for Faber for a long time. A lot of artists have to work other menial jobs to support the art that will one day make them known.
You can complain and whine and wallow. You can get really good at complaining and whining and wallowing and maybe make a career of it. Or you can shut up and get to work and create something great. But you can't, there are no other options.
I see your point. And yet, I disagree 100%.
I'm not surprised.
Because what Virginia Woolf said was that a woman, here's the thing about women, they've been expected to do these menial tasks.
Menial tasks like raise children.
Menial tasks like raise children, yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
Change the diapers, stop them from crying, whatever, enable their survival, whatever it is one does with a
form the
child.
character of the future of the human race. Raise productive, hardworking, and wholesome citizens. Menial, low labor right there. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
Yep.
Maybe the person who thought little of the value of a woman was Virginia Woolf.
Yeah.
But she had a room of her own. Or maybe she didn't, I don't know. But she sure thought she should have.
She's whining and complaining about being born a woman, and she doesn't value women.
Now this, the James Austen, he or she had, surely, by some stroke of fate, perhaps, by the turning, was this a baroness or someone like that? Was it someone that in fact
Son of a preacher.
had a
Daughter of a
in
preacher.
fact had a room of
I
her own,
believed you're lying there for a second. Daughter of a preacher.
large inheritance, 40,000 a year or something
Nope.
the equivalent.
No.
Probably spent all of her time locked away in the attic or somewhere
Spent
where
her
she
time-
could write.
Didn't get married, spent her time helping take care of her nieces and nephews.
Yep.
It would seem as though you had disproved my point.
It would seem.
Seemed like Virginia Woolf has no idea what she's talking about.
Fellas, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to believe you
Or the Google Doodle.
or the
yeah.
Google Doodle.
Yeah.
You can see the bind I'm in.
Such a bind.
You've got Virginia Woolf on one hand. She's some sort of canine creature from the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yes.
And then you got Bradley, and he's a fine, upstanding gentleman. On the other hand, you got the Reverend Menzel. People seem to enjoy the little things that he does. I don't know who to believe. Who should I believe, Bradley?
I don't know. This is so difficult.
It was my understanding that before Virginia Woolf, women played the pianoforte,
Yeah.
changed diaper, did needlework, and did nothing else of value.
Yeah.
Except occasionally write some of the best novels ever written.
Such as,
Pride and Prejudice.
never heard of it,
Emma.
don't know what you're talking about.
Mansfield Park.
Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility.
Sounds
Northanger
weird.
Abbey. Northanger Abbey.
Now tell me more about this
It's not
Northanger.
necessarily easy to pronounce the titles of these works, but
I'm sorry, fellas. I think I'm going to have to stick with the Google Doodle and with Virginia Woolf because,
suits your
Yeah, I'm
taste, character,
well, they seem to be
competence,
more.
everything we've come to learn from you.
They seem to be more popular, and I just think if lots of people believe something, it must be right.
That's true. Must be.
And Bradley says it's true. And
yeah,
it
must be true.
And Bradley, he's never spoken an ironic word to me.
Never.
Only words of friendship.
Only.
Bradley, I'm still going to do that behind the paywall show.
Well, are we?
And you're invited. You're my first guest, Bradley.
Sounds great.
Got it. I've got my roommate Steve is interested.
Yeah.
And
Your roommate Steve?
yeah, it's going to be great.
Is that the name of your dog, Brandon, or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bradley, will you let us set up a studio in your house?
Well, there's a special room.
There is a special room. A room of your own.